Hello, my name is Phil and welcome to another episode of Vermont's 100 Covered Bridges. Today I'm at the Twin Bridge, which is in Rutland. So you're probably thinking, well, this is unusual because normally I walk out of the bridge and introduce the bridge. But today's different because it's a different bridge. I'm sat on a log and I'm sweating. I'm sat on a log on the East Creek in Rutland. Now, if I was sat here in 1850, there'd have been two covered bridges. Now, the first covered bridge was built in 1849 by Nichols Power, who was a local and quite prolific covered bridge builder in the area. Shortly after that, there was a big flood, and this flood caused damage to the actual river in so that it changed shape. And now the river was about 20, 30, 40 yards next to what was the East Creek. So this caused a bit of a problem because now you had a bridge not going over a river and there was no bridge going over now where there was a river. So Nichols Power made another bridge and hence the twin bridges. Now, we've seen one set of twin bridges, that was episodes 28 and 29 up in North Heartland, and they are the closest covered bridges that still remain. However, these bridges, and I'm about to show you some pictures now of the two bridges, you can see how close they were together. In fact, it was literally a couple of feet apart that separated the two bridges. So let's take a look at those pictures. If I stand up, again you can see the East Creek going behind me, but also behind me there you can just see, a short pool of water where the original one went, and occasionally a little bit of water will still flow there. So why am I here when there's no bridges? Well, I need to tell you the story about what happened to these two bridges, and one bridge in particular. So the town of Rutland at one point had 14 bridges in its boundary. 7 were on the East Creek here. I think 3 were actually railway bridges, and there were 7 bridges going over the Otter River, and we'll be coming across the Otter River in the next couple of episodes. One day in 1947, when the dam in East Pittsford, just a short distance away from here, burst open and sent a ton of water coming in the direction of these two bridges. As a result, both were damaged. Now, the first bridge, the one that was built in 1849, was swept away and destroyed completely. Whereas the second one, the one that was built in 1850, one of the abutments was damaged. And here's a picture now. You can see, the bridge is on its own, but you can see how damaged the abutment that's nearest to you is, because it's on a slant compared to the abutment behind it. Now, over time, all of the 14 bridges in Rutland were either destroyed by floods, by vandalism, or just by general wear and tear, and were replaced, like this bridge above me, by concrete and steel structure. But one remains, and that is the 1850 cover bridge that sat over where I'm sat right now. So what happened to it? Well, I'm going to go and show you. And here is the view from the bridge over the East Creek. And when we walk south upon the road, we come across this structure. And ever since 1947, the bridge has remained on this site next to the bridge on East Pittsford Road. So let's go and investigate why. Well, the town of Rutland decided to move the bridge. Obviously, it was a safety hazard, as it was without the abutment. But rather than repair it, they built the concrete bridge that remains there and took this bridge as it was, as it still is, and made it into a storage shed for the highways department. And it pretty much remains as it was. Nothing has been done to it since then. Not sure if we can get a shot from this side. I'll turn the camera off and go around the side. Protected by these trees. And here you can see one of the lattice trusses through that gap. And pretty much the only pictures that people have been able to take is by sneaking a camera through one of the gaps. And there's no YouTube videos, no video footage of what the bridge still looks like today. Again, you can see a few more gaps and parts of the truss, but beyond that it remains a dark mystery as to what is in there. Now, we've been in this situation before. You may recall episode 19 of the Salmon Bridge in Windsor County, and that too was taken down. That was because they were building a floodplain, and that was removed and used by the local town again as a storage shed. Here's a picture of the Salmon Bridge when it was over the north branch of the Black River, and a picture of when it was a town shed. Fortunately, with the Salmon River, that had a happy ending, and 20 odd years ago it was removed and put now over a brook just north of its original site. So the Salmon Bridge had a happy ending, whereas this bridge is now 78 years stood on this site. Now, there was talk 15 years ago of relocating it and saving it. It still remains here. I mean, the two things that come to mind are where would it go, but B, the cost, who's going to pay for it. So the bridge, the shed, remains here, still in one piece, and one of 100 authentic covered bridges in Vermont. Now, only if this door could magically or mysteriously open and I could get inside and have a good look. Oh, and mysteriously the door just opened. Hello? Anybody here? And of course, there's four people all waiting for me from the highways department, and thank you very much for letting me in. And wow, this is amazing. You can see it's the town lattice style still intact, and you just wouldn't think this from the outside. What is it? Just road signs? Yeah, detours and yeah. So how often do you use this?
We don't.
Wow. And it's just but the floor is not, part of the floor still here. Part of the floor all the way through, including the roof. Actually looks a bit new up there, doesn't it? But yeah, thank you for letting me inside. This is wow.
It's probably held together with wood.
Yeah, I mean it's just the original structure. There's nothing being done to it much. There's a National Society for the Prevention of Covered Bridge Incorporated. It's just great to be able to be in here. Yeah. Nobody's filmed before. So it's just open at this end, just like open windows.
There was a sheet of plywood up there, but it fell down.
And of course, I've finally been defeated. I've come across a bridge that I was unable to get under. Of course, I knew that before I set out. And the issue with this bridge wasn't about will I get under it. It was will I be able to get inside it. And I was very pleased to have achieved that. And of course, I wouldn't have done that without Dave and his team. And it was great that they took time out to help me in this project, but also they had a genuine interest in what I was doing and said that since I've been in touch with them, they'd actually started watching the series. So thanks very much to Dave and his team for your time that you gave me. I saved coming around this end till last because obviously I knew that this was open, and obviously it would have ruined the story of not being able to see inside had I shown you this before I actually went in there. But yeah, the team said that, you know, somehow one of the panels was knocked out, and they'll get round to replacing it. But everything except these panels and the door is as it was in 1850. This bridge was the longer of the two. This is 64 feet long. The other bridge was just over 50. So this has concluded the first of 6 bridges I'm going to film at today. I'm in the county of Rutland. I've still got 2 to film in Orange. I'll get to them a couple of weeks time, but I'm in Rutland today. There's 8 bridges in Rutland. I'm doing 6. This one, which is in Rutland itself, there's 4 in Pittsford and then 1 in Brandon, and then in 2 days time I'm going to film 1 in Shrewsbury and 1 in East Clarendon. So let's see what Rutland is going to bring us with this episode and the next 7. And now I have to introduce you to my travelling companion. The wife said she wasn't happy that I was always out on my own with nobody there in case I got into trouble. So my new travel companion, who also reads the notes to me as I'm going along. So once again, thanks for joining me on this episode. when is a bridge not a bridge? When it's a town shed. But it's still a bridge in Vermont's 100 covered bridges, and I'm glad to be able to get inside and be the first person to show you what it looks like inside. Once again, thanks to everyone at Vermont's Covered Bridge Society for all their support that they give me throughout this series. And that's it for now. I'll meet you again a couple of miles further up the road next week. Bye.